Alright guys, what's going on? This is Josh from Up Your Attraction, here to answer a few more of your questions that you've emailed into me. Today's first question comes from Yuli, and he writes me a pretty long email, and he basically tells me that his problem is that even though he can have a lot of female friends, he's always just kind of seen as the funny guy. He is kind of goofy, stupid comedy routines, and he makes all the girls laugh. Everyone has a great time around him, but he's not really building any sexual rapport or any sexual tension. And he kind of wants to know what's going on, so he's not just always seen as the funny guy his whole life. All right, Yuli, you mentioned you email these girls that you like, and basically want to have a girlfriend. And when you're talking about a relationship as opposed to just trying to get a one night stand, it's a little bit of a different approach. Um, to women, the most important thing is when they're thinking about going to a relationship with a guy, they want to know that the guy that they're going to be spending time with is someone who genuinely appreciates the time they're spending together, genuinely likes being around them, really wants to get to know them as a person. That's pretty much the number one most important thing. If you could really let a girl know that you care for her on a deeper level than something just physical, she's going to allow herself the vulnerability in order to open up to you. And that is what women care most about when really looking for a relationship as opposed to just a hookup. And I always hear women say that in a boyfriend they want a guy that has great family values, a guy that is really funny, a guy that's sweet, blah blah blah. Those are pretty much secondary qualifications. If you are somebody that's putting all that out there first, putting your sense of humor out there first as your primary go-to attraction trigger, it's not really going to work for you as much because the woman is just going to kind of see you as a comedian, and she wants to know that you see her and she sees you on a deeper level. So you mentioned this one girl in particular that you really like. The next time that you're with her, especially if you guys are just on your own, you're hanging out, do something a little bit out of the ordinary. Stop with the jokes and the sarcasm, put all that aside temporarily, and just tell her that you really enjoy the time that you're spending together and you'd really like to get to know her on a deeper level. Ask her where she's from, where she's been, what she's doing, where she hopes to go, what her dreams are. Really get inside of her head and let her open up to you. If she sees that you're really paying attention and really taking it to heart and not just looking for an opportunity to make a joke, she's going to start to look at you as a more serious option, which in turn is going to make it so that when you guys are telling jokes, she's going to see that as being something so much more endearing than you just being goofy. If you think back to when the movie Ace Ventura first came out, everyone in the world was imitating Jim Carrey and all of his little stupid one-line routines and stuff, and he was basically a goof. He was a joke. He was a cartoon of a person. It wasn't until years later that he kind of put all that aside and started to have a little bit more of a serious side that people took him as a serious actor. The same absolutely holds true for women in every way, shape, and form. And if you want to see another example for someone that you probably knows, aside from stand-up comics you might really like, who is the number one funniest guy in the fucking universe? The correct answer is Bill Murray. Everyone knows him as being the funniest guy. He has just like a direct sniper's aim right to your funny bone. He's sarcastic, he's dry, he's fantastic, but he also has more of a serious side, which has kept him being able to keep the same sort of routines and the same persona and all that relevant decades and decades later, and people still love him and they're still drawn to him for those exact same reasons. So, believe me, I know where you're coming from. Back in high school, I was kind of like the class clown guy for a while, and it didn't work out so well for me. But it was when I learned to put all that stuff sort of on the back burners, keep it secondary, that the results really started turning around. And so I know you can do it too. Just believe in yourself, and go for it. Just really make an effort that when you find a woman actually starting to open up to you, don't make any jokes about it. She won't take you seriously. You're going to knock yourself back. If she's starting to feel some level of attraction to you and you start acting goofy, you're just going to wipe away all the hard work you've done. All right, next question comes from Sean. And Sean says that there's a girl that he's hung out with for the first time a few nights ago, and he felt a real serious connection. Um, they had absolutely everything in common. They had a great time. Everything just felt right. Right now, they are texting back and forth all the time. She's initiating the text. And when they were hanging out, he felt butterflies in his stomach. But he doesn't know what to do, how to handle this next. All right, Sean. The reason why you're getting those butterflies in your stomach is that's because she's sending off signals that she wants you to make a move. But, and even though your body knows this, your brain isn't aware of it yet. So your body is basically saying, come on, we got to shake this guy up a little bit, and we got to get him to make a fucking move before it's too late. So those butterflies are really like your go signal. That's her telling you to make a move. The longer that you wait, the harder it's going to be. Every time you don't make a move and you don't flirt and you don't push forward a little bit, she takes that as an insult. She says either A, he's not into me that much and I'm getting the wrong signals, or B, he's just not sexually educated enough to know what to do and I'm not wasting my time with a child. Your best bet is to try and see her and get together and spend time with her as quickly as possible. Text her tonight and just say, hey, I don't know what you're up to. My plans fell through. I would really love to see you. You want to hang out. If that's not really going to work, you can text her, during the day and say, let her know, oh man, actually this is a great strategy for text message game. Oh man, work is so boring today. I wish you could be here and keep me company or hang out. And with whatever she replies on, usually it's going to be something along the lines of, oh, I'm sorry, work's so boring. I know what you mean. You then respond by saying something a little goofy. You say something like, and a little flirty, like, all right, why don't you come over here? I'll be the boss, and you'll be my sexy, slutty secretary that'll just do anything to get a raise and a year-end bonus. If you keep it kind of funny and she knows that you're joking, and it seems like since you're going back and forth a lot now, she would get that you're joking, she's going to start role-playing along with you, and that's going to build up immediate attraction. You use that to transition into hanging out in real life, and so long as you don't really waste any time, the minute you see her, you go, you give her a big hug, a kiss on the cheek, start holding her hand right away, and acting like she's your old girlfriend. Talk to her like she's a girlfriend, Don't be afraid to give her a peck on the cheek every once in a while, just for the hell of it. Hold her hand, touch her a lot more when you're talking. You're going to send the right signals in her head that, basically what you're going to do is just tell her that you know exactly what you're doing. You're not an amateur like she may have thought before, and you're just letting that sexual tension just simmer and simmer and simmer until it finally erupts. So you really got a small window to do it, and you seem to be at the place where you can do it right if you get going and start moving on it now. If you let it go too long, she's just going to assume that you don't know what you're doing or you're not interested, and that's it, your time together is going to be over. There's not going to be a lot, it'll be a lot harder to rekindle that than it would be to start off fresh. So go on, man. I hope you get to watch this video in time. Push forward, man. Best of luck to you. Let me know. I'm actually interested to hear your results. So after you give this a shot, please email me. Let me know what's happened. And for everyone else out there, if you have any questions about dating, sex, relationships, pickup, attraction, you name it, email me, josh@upyourattraction.com. Also, check out my website, www.upyourattraction.com. All right, I'll talk to you later.